because of that process in that heat. I anticipated having this building for this time, and I didn't have it. So at some point, as a farm, you have to look at the picture of what's best for my property, what's best for my animals, what's best suited for this situation. So I had no response in the timeline within 30 days of any answers from the township. So I built it. And the UCC code states, if you don't hear a response within 15 business days, this is 30 here, the project is deemed approved. So that's when I went.
Have you received any complaints from any adjoining landowners regarding the building of this building?
No, and we compliment.
Have you received any complaints regarding stormwater runoff or management issues from any adjoining landowners?
None.
I have nothing further for Mr. Arnold this time.
Yes. Mr. Arnold, when you built your other building, or your other farm building on the property, you made an application for a zoning permit, correct?
From what I recall, yes, it was 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago?
I'd like to have marked as Township Exhibit 6. A copy of the application for zoning permit submitted by Mr. Arnold. Mr. Arnold, if you look at that zoning permit application, would you agree that it's been applied for in your name on June 15, 2022, and it's for a pole building for ag storage?
Yes.
Do you recall receiving a zoning permit for that building?
Yes.
Just to complete that record, I'll have marked as Township Exhibit 7. Copy of the zoning permit. This is the zoning permit, and it has an issuance date of August 3rd, 2022, in your name for 645 Flatbush Road for the pole building. And who signed that? Who issued that permit to you?
I'm assuming that's Mark. I don't know.
Mark Gowell. Yes, that's the name that appears there. So you understood when you did your pole building, your ag pole building in 2022, that you had to go through the process of applying for and being issued a zoning permit. And did you understand that that zoning permit was issued because you had satisfied stormwater management requirements for the building?
After I came to the supervisor meeting, yes.
Okay. So you understood that was part of the process for issuing the zoning permit?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold, you have said several times that you had no communications, although this is not the subject before the board, you've raised it. You said several times that you had no communications with the township with respect to stormwater management. Did you or your engineer, in fact, have several communications with the administrator of the stormwater management ordinance, the township engineer, Eric Vranich?
My engineer had conversation for the design, yes.
Okay, and he was your face. He applied on your behalf. He was discussing that on your behalf with Mr. Vranich.
Sure.
And on April 15th, did you request time to speak to the Board of Supervisors on their April 15th meeting to discuss the land development plan?
I believe that was the date, sure.
Okay, and was Mr. Vranich present during that meeting?
Who?
Mr. Vranich, the township engineer.
Oh, yeah, he was here.
Okay, and was there quite an extensive discussion with you about the process for both land development, stormwater management, and the zoning permit?
Yes.
And did you at that time understand that the zoning permit would not be issued until stormwater management had been addressed?
Yes.
Okay, and did you in fact have some concerns with the position that Mr. Vranich, as the township's administrator for the stormwater management ordinance, concerns with his position with respect to stormwater management planning for this property?
I'm not sure what that means. He's an engineer. He's not the voice of the township.
He is the voice of the township. He is the administrator of the stormwater management ordinance. And he was here as the township engineer at that meeting that you asked to have with the Board of Supervisors, correct?
Sure.
Okay, and he sat just on the other side of the room, and he had an extensive conversation with you and the Board of Supervisors at that time.
Yes.
And at that time, were you unhappy with his position on the stormwater management planning required for the new building?
I'm sorry, I heard you.
At that meeting, were you unhappy with the position the township engineer took with respect to stormwater management planning for that building?
I don't really recall that, really. I can't answer that for a fact. I don't know what you're.
You don't recall your conversation with the board?
With the board, yes. We would talk about a lot of things that night. I don't remember.
And you don't recall being unhappy about stormwater management planning?
Well, nobody's happy about stormwater.
But you expressed that to the board at that time, correct?
I don't know if I came out and said it. I don't recall.
Did you, subsequent to that meeting on May 21st, 2025, subsequent to the April 15th meeting of the Board of Supervisors, did you request time to be on the Board of Supervisors agenda on May 21st, 2025?
I don't recall the dates.
So you don't, do you recall requesting time on the agenda to request a waiver from the saldo requirements for the land development plan?
Yes, I do recall, yes, I remember.
And at that time, did you understand that you needed to make a specific, you needed to make a written request for waiver of that?
Yes.
Okay. And at a subsequent meeting, you obtained that waiver?
Yes.
And at that meeting, do you recall that there was discussion about the completion of the stormwater management planning process before the issuance of a zoning permit for the building?
I don't recall anything about the zoning. It was all about stormwater. I don't recall a question about the zoning, no.
Okay. Nonetheless, you came and requested time again on the July 15th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting to discuss the issuance of a zoning permit before you obtained both stormwater management approval and the NPDS permit from the county.
Yes, because the township was telling me I needed to do an NPDS permit, which would extend it an additional 9 months probably.
Okay. We may disagree about that conversation, but at that same point, did you understand you had to complete the stormwater management planning for the township? That is, under the township stormwater management ordinance.
Yes, and I did. I supplied that on April 2nd.
And you had communications, you or your engineer had communications after April 2nd indicating that that information was incomplete or inaccurate?
Emails through engineers.
Okay. At the July 15th, 2025 meeting, the time at which you asked to discuss the zoning permit with the issuance of the zoning permit with the Board of Supervisors, would you agree with me that the record and the minutes that have been distributed already show that the Board of Supervisors did not act on that because they had no authorization to issue a zoning permit? They weren't the administrator of the zoning ordinance, correct?
Correct.
And so you did not have a zoning permit as of that date, July 15th, 2025. Nonetheless, did you begin construction on July 22nd, 2025 without a zoning permit?
I sure did.
Okay. And you continue to proceed with construction even after the zoning enforcement notice stop work order was issued?
The date that it was sent, yeah.
And you continued to complete the construction of that building, again without a zoning permit?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Mr. Arnold?
Briefly. Mr. Arnold, on your plan, we discussed this earlier, there was stormwater management parameters as part of that plan.
Yes.
And when you constructed the building, or let me take a step back, you supplied this plan to the township.
Yes, April 2nd.
And did you ever receive any feedback from the zoning officers regarding any concerns with the stormwater management plan?
No, nothing.
Did you receive any information from the township engineer regarding the stormwater management?
Yes.
And did you take efforts to correct those stormwater management issues?
Yes.
After you corrected those stormwater management issues, did the township act on your zoning permit?
No.
Nothing further.
I have follow-up questions. Did you receive approval of your stormwater management plan from the township engineer?
No.
And you understand that he is the administrator of the stormwater management ordinance for the township?
Sure.
Okay. So you proceeded with construction of the building both without a zoning permit and without an approved stormwater management plan?
The stormwater management plan was not reviewed by your engineer.
That's your representation?
It was not reviewed because of prior stipulations that they had had with my property. He refused to look at it.
Do you recall the hearing, the meeting at which you appeared before the Board of Supervisors to discuss land development and stormwater management? Both the April 15th, 2025 meeting and the May 21st, 2025 meeting and the July 15th, 2025 meeting. Is it your statement that you did not have any feedback on the stormwater management plan, the inadequacies of it, at any of those meetings?
I was told when Eric was here that he refused to look at my stormwater plan for this project because of other concerns on my property that he wanted me to address before he would review this plan.
Did he say he wouldn't review it, or did he say he needed more information from your engineer?
He wouldn't
that is a
review it.
corrected plan?
He would not review it.
I have no further questions of this witness. I will recall the township witness.
Any questions for Mr. Arnold from the board?
My questions was answered. My questions were answered.
On your meeting with the July 15th meeting notes, you addressed it a little bit, but it just states that the need to have get the building up as soon as possible. You said about heat a little bit. Were there any other extenuating circumstances that what you had on your property before now was not sufficient enough and you required this additional building?
So our herd increased. You know, we have calves and we have yearling calves that we have to separate off the moms for the next herd until we get them off to the next phase in their life. Yeah, our herd increased.
Was that a planned increase by birth, purchase?
Yes.
So the plan was increased, and rephrase that. The increase was planned based on expecting to have this building built in July.
Yes.
Okay. You also said that according to UCC, you deemed it, after 30 days, it's deemed approved. What date were you basing that 30 days off of?
The date that I turned in my zoning permit, April 2nd.
So if that's the case, why would we wait until July 15th, or excuse me, I'm sorry, July 21st, whatever it was, to start construction?
I pushed it off as long as I could. I didn't have any response from the zoning officers. So at some point, I had to make a decision.
At any meeting, regardless from anybody, were you ever provided any type of timeline, expected timeline for an NPDES permit?
It was a big answer of months from my engineer, 6 to 9 months.
From your engineer? I have no other questions, thank you.
A few follow-ups, Mr. Arnold. I'm trying to get an understanding of all of the permits or approvals that you needed to get for your project. The first is a land development plan approval, and as I understand your testimony, ultimately, the township waived the requirement for a land development plan, is that correct?
That's correct.
The second was a building permit. So you applied to MDIA for a building permit, and they indicated that you did not need a building permit because it's an ag building.
Correct. There was a waiver that they had to set it.
The third requirement had to do with the NPDES permit. So you applied for that,
No,
okay? You never applied for
not to my knowledge.
it. Is it your testimony that you do not need an NPDES permit?
Jeff Musselman came out, reviewed my property, and said there was no violations.
Okay, and I saw that.
And the property, the building is 12,000 square feet. That's not even a third of an acre. And an NPDES permit requires an acre of ground before one's needed.
So in your exhibit 3, which is the Adams County Conservation District's inspection report, it says there's, I agree with you, it says no violations, but it doesn't say that you don't need an NPDES permit.
The ruling for an NPDES permit is an acre of land before one's needed.
I understand. Then you applied for a stormwater management permit.
I applied for the stormwater on April 2nd.
You understand, but as of today, you have not received approval of your stormwater management.
I haven't received anything.
Okay. And finally, a zoning permit. You've applied for that, but have not received it yet.
No correspondence about it.
Okay. And is it your understanding that given all of this permitting history that you went through, that the only thing that's holding this up is stormwater management from the township?
That's what I'm understanding.
Okay.
And there is a design.
I have no further questions. Attorney Eckert, do you have any follow-up based on?
I do not, no.
Okay. Do you have any other testimony?
No, I'd like to move to admit applicant exhibit 1, 2, and 3.
Any objection?
No objection.
We have 2 township exhibits that came in.
Yes, and I'll add them when I complete the review.
Okay, so do you have no further?
I closed my case.
Okay, thanks. Attorney Smith, rebuttal.
Yes, I'd like to call Ms. Harrigan. Ms. Hare, you are the zoning officer for the township, and Mr. Gall is the assistant zoning officer for the township.
Yes,
And is it your job as the zoning officer to administer the zoning ordinance for the township?
yes,
Is it your job as the zoning officer to administer the stormwater management ordinance for the township?
no.
Who administers the stormwater management ordinance for the township?
Township engineer Eric Branch.
And is it based on, did you attend all of the meetings that I described earlier, there, April 15th, May 21st, July 15th, 2020
Yes.
meetings? And at all those meetings, was there any question in your mind that Mr. Arnold was informed that the administrator for the stormwater management ordinance was not the zoning officer, but Eric Branch, the township engineer?
Yes,
And at the April 15th, 2025 meeting, was Mr. Vranich present?
yes,
Okay. And was there a discussion of stormwater at that meeting?
Yes,
And to your recollection, was it an extensive discussion?
yes.
Any idea how long that discussion took? Any
No.
recollection? Was it more than just a few minutes?
Yes,
And I'm gonna have marked as Township Exhibit 8, the April 15th, 2025 minutes. Next. I'm gonna have you turn to the second page, which was the portion of the minutes that addressed Mr. Arnold's request to address the Board of Supervisors to discuss land development for his proposed project. And again, just so we're clear, is land development a part of the zoning ordinance?
no,
Is land development the subject of the subdivision and land development ordinance of the
Yes.
township? And who is the administrator for the subdivision and land development ordinance for the township?
Township Engineer Eric Branch.
And so the zoning officer does not administer the SAGA.
No,
And if we look at these minutes, if you look to the final sentence of the minutes, and then the sentence continuing on the next page, beginning with township engineer, would you read that into the record, please?
Township Engineer Eric Branch said that whether the Board of Supervisors grants the request or not, stormwater management needs to be completed. The stormwater management plan that has been submitted needs to have the previous projects that were constructed without stormwater management added to them before the plans will be close to compliance.
And this meeting occurred after this April 2nd submission, after the submission of the stormwater management plan on March 31st, 2025, as indicated in applicant's exhibit 1.
Yes,
And it was after the April 2nd submission of the zoning permit.
yes.
Okay, so in your opinion, as the secretary reporting on the discussions at the meeting, was it clear that Mr. Arnold was informed by Township Engineer Eric Branage that the stormwater management planning was not yet completed?
Yes.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Attorney Eckert.
Ms. Sarah, is there an application that's submitted for review of stormwater management plan?
The plan is submitted to the engineer, that's the application.
And the same would be for the land development plan as well?
There's an application for land development,
But that was waived, correct?
yes.
And based about, you recall Mr. Arnold's testimony regarding his communications with the engineer?
Yes,
And I believe he testified that one of the things he was told was that he couldn't, that the engineer wouldn't review the plan until these other things on the property were addressed.
so what I believe to have been said was, he initially reviewed it, there would be no further review until the additions to the plan were added.
Okay.
The additional information that he requested of Mr. Sheldon, the applicant's engineer.
But you would agree the engineer did say that these other projects needed to be addressed first?
Absolutely. They were in violation, he wanted the stormwater management plan to be current.
No further questions.
To your knowledge, as the township secretary, did the township engineer issue an enforcement notice to Mr. Arnold indicating that he had proceeded with the construction of the building without an approved stormwater management?
Yes,
So is that that wasn't a zoning enforcement notice, that was an enforcement notice under the stormwater management ordinance?
yes,
And to your knowledge, has that been resolved?
no.
I have no further questions.
Questions? The notice of violation for stormwater management, does that relate to the current buildings or the past?
The whole plan.
The whole,
It's because he did not complete the stormwater plan that is before Eric, so.
and when was that
And the
issued?
project is what? I believe it was July 31st, 2025, but I don't have it in front of me, so. I'm not for sure.
What's the status of the NOV? Was it appealed or?
Not to my knowledge, no.
As an officer of court, I'll represent that it was issued. If you want, we can make it an exhibit for this proceeding, although it's not the subject of this proceeding. But it has no action, no compliance action was taken and no appeal was taken.
I don't need you to submit an attorney effort, do you?
Nope.
Is there any further evidence from the township?
Yeah. I would move into the record exhibits 6, 7, and 8.
Any
No
objections? Okay, so all of the submitted exhibits are admitted. So I don't know if either party wants a chance to sum up their case before we might adjourn to an executive session. If so, I think perhaps I'd ask now if there's anyone here who wishes to give public comment regarding the application. So is there more than one person to give public comment? All right, so sir, before you give public comment, unless your testimony is sworn,
I didn't understand the sworn in part though.
I'm sorry?
I didn't understand the sworn in part, so, because I didn't want to be represented by Mr. Arnold's attorney. I wanted to speak on behalf of Mr. Arnold, but not as Mr. Arnold's attorney.
That's fine, so if you could please be sworn.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or affirm?
I do.
And can you state your name and address?
Timothy James Topper, 403 Parkway Drive, Littlestown, PA 17340. And can I start at any time? According to the zoning, the application here, it's zoning, correct? This is a zoning hearing, not stormwater, zoning. So everything that was stated stormwater is almost, it should be flushed out because it's zoning. It's about Bill Arnold's zoning. And according to the PA UCC code, and I'm going to quote it right out of the book here, okay, you have a building code official shall grant, deny a permit application in whole within 15 business days, or file a date or an application is deemed approved. If it's a denial within the 15 days, you have to have it in writing and the reason why it is denied per the zoning ordinance. Now, the township could have asked for an extension, which would have gave them another 5 days, per the UCC code. And all townships and boroughs have to go by this code book. Was, to my knowledge, and Mr. Arnold already stated this, he got nothing from the zoning officer, which I'm not sure who the zoning officer was at that time. Could it have been Mr. Mark? I don't
think it
know.
was Mark at the time.
But now you got the secretary, and somewhere in there, I think, probably Dean Schultz was involved somewhere. Am I right? Mark's shaking his head yes. So I'm confused on who is the exact zoning officer off of this that needed to provide something in writing within 15 days denying Bill's permit application. And I came to a couple of those meetings, the township meetings. And the township at that point, I'm thinking it was Jeff, I'm not sure on the name. He was one of the board of supervisors. He said the township is transparent. If the township's transparent, why wouldn't you try to walk through this with Mr. Arnold to get a settlement on it instead of fighting with him, and especially trying to bring in issues that was already done on the property before he started this barn, ag building. So my only comment is, according to the UCC code, which townships and boroughs have to go by, they had 15 days to write a denial. They didn't write a denial. If it's not written in denial And the reason why, regarding the extension, it's automatically approved, and it states that right there in the ordinance.
If I may respond?
Why don't you respond during your summation, if that's okay?
I just think the record needs to be clear. If he's got sworn testimony, I think we need to address it.
Okay.
So I'll address that Ms. Hare, who's sitting beside me, serves in several capacities, including as the zoning officer. She was previously the assistant zoning officer, as was Mr. Gall. And they've been in that position for many years, so this was not a changeover. The other thing I will comment on is the cited section is from the Uniform Construction Code, which relates to building permits. It is not before you, it doesn't control the zoning ordinance, it relates to the issuance of building permits. Building permit was not required for this building because it's exempt under the UCC as an agricultural building. So it's simply not the issue before you, and it doesn't control the issuance of a zoning permit.
Can I rebuttal that?
No, sir.
Okay.
We understand your argument.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, any further public comment? All right. Record should reflect there's no further public comment. So at this time, I'll turn to you, Mr. Eckert, for any closing statements you might.
I'll be very brief. You know, the gentleman that spoke in public comment addressed some of the issues that I was going to raise. I do believe the township, under the township ordinances, the zoning ordinances, I should say, have a requirement for the township to respond within 30 days of an application. The zoning officers in this case did not testify that they did not respond, did not respond within that time frame. Mr. Arnold worked with the township to try to address the NPDS permit, try to address some of the stormwater management issues, and unfortunately was not able to resolve those issues. He testified that this was a extenuating circumstance, that this building needed to be constructed, so he moved forward with constructing the building to protect his livestock, and we are here today basically asking that the cease and desist letter be withdrawn, but recognizing that there's a continuing effort to move forward to work with the township to address the issues that need to be resolved and work in a colloquial way to get those things addressed.
Thank you. Attorney Smith?
Yes, the issue before the zoning hearing board is whether or not work proceeded without a zoning permit in violation of the zoning ordinance. And in fact, I think we've demonstrated that that occurred. That's the issue before you, to be resolved. The reasons for the zoning permit not being obtained was that Mr. Arnold failed to complete the stormwater management process, which needs to be completed before a zoning permit can be issued. The relationship between stormwater management and the zoning permit were communicated with Mr. Arnold on many occasions. The township has worked with Mr. Arnold on many occasions. I indicated the dates at which he appeared before the Board of Supervisors to discuss these matters, and there were communications as admitted to by Mr. Arnold between the township, particularly the township engineer and his engineer with respect to stormwater management. Again, not the issue before you, whether that process is satisfied or not. But with respect to the zoning permit, there were communications at all of those meetings referenced as reflected in the minutes and the testimony of the township zoning officer and assistant zoning officer. That work, in fact, simply proceeded and was completed without the required zoning permit having been obtained. And that's the reason for the issuance of the zoning enforcement notice, and the appeal from that should be denied.
Thank you. Anything further from any parties?
No.
So what's the board's pleasure here? Do you want to adjourn to an executive session?
Yes, please.
So the record should reflect that the board will adjourn to an executive session. It's 8:20.